Hi everyone, we are live from Wildcat Welcome. Welcome class of 2020 and transfers. We're here with some incredible peer advisors who are going to answer all of your questions. My name is Elizabeth. As you know already, your peer advisors are going to be the advisors and students that you meet with and are in groups with for Wildcat Welcome and all of your first year here at Northwestern. And just a few of them are hanging out with us tonight. And they're going to be taking your questions, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves right now.
Hi guys, I'm Jordan. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is my second year as a PA. I am a journalism and poli-sci major in Medill. Right now, I'm class of 2018. And right now I'm in Albuquerque where I'm spending my summer helping my aunt and uncle renovate houses.
Hey, my name is John Franklin. I am from downtown Chicago. I am a second-year PA in McCormick. I'm studying computer engineering, computer science in McCormick with a minor in music composition in Benin. I'm class of 2018, and I'm in Mountain View, California right now, working as a software engineer at Google.
Hi, I'm Noelle. I'm from New York City, Manhattan specifically. I'm a second-year peer advisor, and I am a dual degree student studying journalism in the Medill School of Journalism and Violin Performance in the Benin School of Music. And I'm technically class of 2018, but I'm expected to graduate in 2019, if that makes sense. And right now I'm at home in New York, and I'm interning with Lincoln Center.
Hey everyone, I'm Cody. I'm from Solon, Ohio. I'm a second-year PA. I'm in School of Communication as a Communication Studies major, class of 2017, and currently I'm in Evanston, working with the Alumni Relations and Development branch of Northwestern.
Hi everyone, my name's Magna. I'm from Huntsville, Alabama. I'm a second-year PA in Weinberg, and I'm a neuroscience major and religious studies minor. I'm class of 2018. And I'm currently at home, but I'm headed back to Evanston this weekend to take a class and do research.
Cool. Hey guys, my name is Ben. I'm from Franklin, Tennessee. I'm class of 2017, and I am on the board of directors along with Elizabeth. I'm in charge of School of Education and Social Policy. Currently, I'm studying psychology in the School of Weinberg, but also learning and organizational change in School of CSP. And currently, I'm in Evanston. As we go to Evanston in the summer, and I'm here doing communications for a company.
Great, and my name is Elizabeth. I'm also on the board of directors, like Ben said. I'm the director for Benin. I am currently from Auburn, or I am from Auburn, Alabama, but I'm currently also in Evanston. And I am a trumpet performance major in Benin, class of 2017. We're really, really excited that you could join us for this Wildcat Wednesday. Every Wednesday we put out information, sometimes hangouts like these, other sort of like Wikipedia knowledge kinds of things about Northwestern throughout the summer. So hopefully you can keep in touch with us. We'll be excited to take your questions. You can tweet us at Wildcat Welcome or Facebook message us on Facebook, or send us an email at wildcatwelcome@u.northwestern.edu. Great, so we're going to go ahead. We already have a first question. I currently have not declared a major, but I think I might know what I want to major in. Do you recommend I declare a major now, or should I wait to declare until I've gotten on campus and taken some classes? That's from Erin. Anybody have some thoughts?
Yeah, I can take that one. So there's really no need to declare a major right now. Like once you get to campus, you have plenty of time to do that. I don't think you have to declare until sophomore year. Actually, I recently just declared my major, and I just finished sophomore year. So there's really no rush. Yeah, I mean it's really nice when you get to campus. You can talk to an advisor more about that, and you can go into different departments and you can hear a little bit more about what they have to say about their major, so you can kind of get a feel once you get on campus.
Awesome, thanks. We have another question already. Do many or any Northwestern students who live on campus bring their cars? Is there anywhere to pay to park? or where can we keep them for the academic year?
Yeah, so I can take that one. So the first thing you need to know is that as a first year living on campus, you actually can't have a car, so you don't really need to worry about that yet. But the other great thing is that Northwestern, being so close to Chicago, we have a lot of great public transit options. So we're right next to an L stop, we're close to the Metra, and then Northwestern itself has a lot of really cool shuttle services. So like we have an intercampus that runs to downtown Chicago or takes you to Old Orchard Mall, which is nearby. So you're more than covered for public transit being on campus.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that. I take the L almost everywhere if I need to go, or biking, also an option around Evanston. Great. Another student asks, I want to double major in industrial engineering and international studies. I realize that there is basically no overlap between these two. Will this be too much work? Will I be able to graduate in 4 years and still be able to study abroad, be involved on campus, etc.?
I can definitely take this one. So I was actually originally computer engineering, computer science, and music composition, and so I kind of thought like I'll go for the triple major and try to still do everything, especially like study abroad and maybe like co-op and all of that stuff. Typically, if you're going to do a dual degree program with engineering and music, it's going to be a 5-year program, mostly just because Beanon has those orals and theory classes and pretty much just like practicing and ensemble and lessons. And then you have on top of that engineering. So it's pretty tough to do in 4 years, but extremely manageable to do in 5 years. And you can still fit in other things as well. But really, like, I had to really challenge myself and think about what I wanted to prioritize with those two. And I kind of realized that maybe I should focus more on computer engineering, computer science, and then have music composition still related in my academics, but be able to excel with that outside of school as well. So far, it's been a really great relationship. I'm pretty happy I made it.
Oh, I'll jump in with a little bit of information as well, I guess. I don't know anything about engineering, but as a dual degree student, I'm in the 5-year program, and it might seem a little daunting, and I know that students at Northwestern really do want to get involved in as much as they can because there's so many things that you can get involved in. But one great thing about Northwestern is that they make choosing certain minors, majors, going within schools, or just studying all different types of things. You can really just come here. It's really cool that you're interested in engineering and political science. Those are two really interesting things, and that you want to study them is even better. So yeah, like coming to Northwestern with those interests, you don't necessarily have to worry about, will I be able to graduate, will I be able to study abroad? You don't really have to worry about those things yet because you can just come to campus with your interests, which is already a great starting point, and just see what interests you and what classes you really like taking. And sometimes, that might be, a double major, but it can also turn into a minor or whatever really you end up wanting to do when you're here.
Awesome. Thanks so much. We have another question from a student named Emily. Emily asks, I am a vegetarian. What's the dining hall? What are the dining hall options like? Is there going to be enough options for me as a vegetarian?
I can take this one. So I'm also vegetarian leaning, and there's definitely a lot of options in terms of dining halls and food. I lived in Alice in my first and second year, and there was a station that was specifically for vegetarian food options, so that was really great. So there's definitely lots of different options, and exploring the different dining halls and dining options is a great way to figure out if you can find a good food option. So for me, it was Allison Dining Hall. So there's definitely a way to do that.
Great, awesome, thanks. So another question as well: when do we pick our classes, and how do we know what classes we even need to take?
I can take that one. I would say definitely don't worry about, before you come here, don't worry about the specific classes you need to take or things like that. You'll spend the first few days really going in with your advisor and really talking over the path you need to take and the classes that are available to you. So definitely don't worry, we're here for you and we'll guide you through the process. Yeah.
Great. Our next question comes from Naomi. Do most people who don't live near campus ship their dorm stuff in, or do they just buy what they need once they arrive in Evanston?
Okay, so I can take that. I flew in from New York into Evanston, well, into O'Hare, but I took most of my stuff in suitcases, which gets pretty expensive, so I kind of wish I had shipped more. But I did use a shipping service, and I know a lot of students do. USS is a service you can send your stuff. It lets you send your stuff in August straight to your whatever res hall or community or college you are living in. And yeah, it's really great because it's just there when you get to campus and you don't really have to worry about it too much. But another great thing is you're living in Evanston, which really is like a city. So I bought, all my toiletries and like bath stuff and anything that I didn't need to bring from home, I bought in Evanston, which is a really great option as well. So you can kind of cut down on what you have to bring.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Noelle. Our next question is there an intramural volleyball team or a club team? Anyone know?
Oh, I mean, I can go for it. I don't know if there is a volleyball. I haven't heard of it. I see kids playing volleyball all the time, but there is an immense amount of volleyball. I'm pretty sure there's volleyball. There's definitely volleyball, for sure. Definitely. I definitely remember people signing up for it. So yes, there is. But there is intramural for pretty much everything. Basketball, frisbee, soccer, football, well, flag football. And so it depends on the season, and you can sign up with a team. They have some that are co-ed. They have some that are just like for different teams. So it's kind of like whatever you want to do with it, honestly, whatever sport.
Great. New question. Do you go into Chicago much, since I heard the quarters are so quickly paced, and if so, what do you do?
Yeah, I can definitely take this one. So I honestly think that I don't go more than a week without going to Chicago. Yes, the quarters are quick paced, but I think that if you get a little creative, you can find ways to do your homework on the shuttle or the CTA, or being in Medill, I know I try to do a lot of my stories in Chicago just because I think it's such an incredible thing that we have right there, and so the more I can get into it, the more I enjoy it. So I do everything from finding weird, quirky stories to cover there to just wandering around and finding coffee shops, or we have free access to the Chicago Art Institute. There's just so much to do there, and yeah, even with how quick the quarters go, you can absolutely find ways to take advantage of that.
Awesome. Anyone else have thoughts about going into Chicago?
I kind of do. I'm from Chicago, so I go there pretty often, but I like to drag other kids around, and there's definitely a lot to do. We have the free museum access to the Art Institute, and you can bring a guest for free at, I believe, the planetarium. So you can definitely do those types of things. I know during the summer kids love to go to Chicago if you happen to be in Evanston over the summer. There's a lot that goes on there. But you can definitely go as frequently as possible. The intercampus is one of your best friends during the weekday if you can go. It takes you directly to Feinberg, which is Streeterville, heart of downtown. You can go anywhere from there. So that's a great outlet to go downtown.
Awesome. Our next question is it possible, would you recommend taking placement exams? And if you do well, do you get placed into hard classes? Thoughts?
Yeah, I can take this one. So I would definitely recommend taking placement exams, especially if you're planning to take a language or any math or chemistry classes. If you do, I think that's a requirement for math. I would have to double check. I would double check in Purple Prep for that, but I think for math you do have to take a placement exam, or not a placement, but an assessment test regardless. But for languages, definitely recommend taking placement exams. If you're worried about getting placed into hard classes, you can always talk to an advisor about that during Wildcat Welcome, and I think in some cases it is possible to start with an intro class even if you do place higher.
Great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is about the pre-orientation programs. How was your experience with a pre-orientation program? Anyone who did one?
So I didn't do a pre-orientation program, but I work within the organizations that produces them. I do a lot of work with ASB, and I've actually gone on a couple of trips, and led a trip. And so ASB specifically is a group that does community service for a week before you get to campus for the pre-orientation trips. And for me, I see ASB as a really great way to get involved with service and to meet people who are also interested in service. So I'd see pre-orientation programs as like a good way to like meet a couple people before you get to Wildcat Welcome, and like get to know some people who are like interested in the same sort of things. So yeah, I love ASB. So I think it's a good opportunity, but different for everyone.
Absolutely. Our next question comes from Dylan. He says, "Hi, I want to do research when I'm on campus. When would you say would be the best time to start looking for potential topics? I know it's early to start thinking about this, but I'm really eager to do some research."
I can take this one. Hey, Dylan. So I did research throughout the year, my sophomore year, but I think definitely whenever it's definitely a flexible, oftentimes commitment where you can ease into a research that a professor is doing, or there's definitely a lot of opportunities around research at Northwestern. So I know, for example, as a psychology major, I just went to their website. I looked for research opportunities, and they have a full list of different departments and different studies. So definitely going into the major specific sites are very helpful. And if you ask the professors, it's definitely helpful as well. But I would also say don't try to rush into it. It's not like you need 4 years of research. It's I think when it's manageable and when you find the time to do it and you find the topics interesting, that's the best way to get into it.
Great. So our next question is, if you dabbled in programming, basic C, and sorting algorithms before, do you still recommend starting from the intro programming course with Python or C?
I can take this one. Within at least McCormick for engineering, they really advise you to take those intro classes. So you'll start with EECS 111, which is actually in this language Racket, which is kind of a rare thing. But then you'll go on to 211, which is in C++. And even if you have programmed before, it's still great to go through those basics. Northwestern has it as a fundamental engineering class in the first place. If you really, 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 really feel confident, you could do a small interview with Robbie Findler, who's the head of the EECS department. And he can maybe omit the class for you and you can replace it with another one. But I do recommend kind of getting that feel. I came in thinking I knew some stuff, and I still had some holes that I needed to fill. So if you have the patience and the time, I think it's worth doing.
Great. Our next question is about campus publications. How hard is it to get involved in student publications like the Daily Northwestern or North by Northwestern as a freshman? Is it super competitive to get a spot?
Oh yeah, so I am all over this one. So first of all, I just want to give a shout out to all of our other publications on campus. We have something like 26. So while there are some that are like better known, there's basically a publication for anybody out there, which is pretty wonderful. One of the first things that we'll have during the year for Medill or non-Medill students who want to get involved is a publications fair where you can just come and see all of them in the same room and get an idea of what you vibe with. And then from there, yeah, I think all of the publications are open to anybody, so it's really like if you want to get involved, you absolutely can, and you can decide your own level of involvement. So yeah, just jump right in and we'll work with you from there.
Great, that's some awesome information. Thanks, Jordan. So our next question is, okay, so a lot of people have been asking academic questions, but what has been your favorite thing about Northwestern so far?
Oh, I'm definitely up for taking this one. So I would have to say, as someone who's like in Medill and Beanon, those are pretty much those are like the second and third smallest schools at Northwestern, and so you can kind of get wrapped up in your specific friend group or the people that you're in classes with. But I think recently, this past year, which was my sophomore year, I really made the effort to like reach out to people in different schools. I mean, working as part of Wildcat Welcome has really helped me get to know a lot more people. But just overall, like meeting people in every school and like the people are just interested in everything and they're so supportive. And yeah, I mean, that was a pretty generic answer, but it's like totally true that the community and the students here are just like surpassed all expectations I had of like a supportive community, and just students that are like really engaged and interested in learning and in meeting more people. So yeah, that's definitely has been my favorite part of being at Northwestern.
Anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, I can jump in. So one of my favorite things just has been, I mean, on top of all the opportunities that are out there that, challenging myself to do, for example, dance, which I've never done before coming to college. But I would say my personal favorite thing is the proximity to Chicago and just the ability to go down there whenever you want. It's definitely an effort. You have to, make plans and make that happen. But just to know that one of the biggest cities is right there, a really opportunity.
Awesome. So our next question comes from Emma. She says, "How hot does it get in the dorms when it's warm out? If the AC fails, is a fan necessary?"
I got you. I lived in Sargent my freshman year, and Sargent actually doesn't have any air conditioning. It has heating, but it doesn't have air conditioning. And the first few days in September, it was so relatively warm out. I was kind of miserable for some of the time. We like keep our door open, keep the windows open, kind of be on top of our covers. So, but a fan makes the world a better place. Like really, if you can get one, that's awesome. Most of the time, like I've never heard of an AC really failing. So if your building has it, that's pretty reliable. If you want to get a fan, that's great. But most of the year, you're not going to need it. It's going to be cold enough for you to just like turn up the heat and equalize it. But during the beginning and tail end of the year, you might have some hot experiences if you don't have an air conditioner. You should be fine.
I can hop on just because I lived in Allison Residential Hall last year, and at one point so the air conditioners in Allison are amazing. I'm sure they're also great all throughout campus in all the places that you can live, but they were really great, and when it went out, it was a huge bummer, but the kids in my hallway actually had a giant fan that they put at the front of the hallway and opened up all the doors. So there's another great example of community here at Northwestern. But yeah, so it does get hot, and your air conditioner, it might break down, but fans are a great option, and you can always ask people for their fans as well. But it never really gets too bad. So.
Great, thanks guys. So the next question is, what was the most challenging part of your first year that you didn't expect the summer before? Anyone want to take that one?
Yeah, I can go for it on this one. So one thing that I didn't fully anticipate was just how homesick I was going to get. I mean, I think I got really caught up in wanting to get there, especially because I know that it's kind of hard to see all of your friends at college already, and you're just ready to get out. But then getting there, I missed my mom a lot, and so I think that my friends definitely helped me get through it. I talked to my PAs a lot during that, and just calling my mom. So just like a PSA ahead of time to call your parents. They're going to miss you too.
Yeah, I can add on to that too. I would say the thing that was most challenging that I didn't expect was just the fast pace after Wildcat Welcome going into classes. I guess I was coming off of this really, really long, 4-month summer, so I just wasn't used to going back into school mode, so that transition period was a little rough for me, but it definitely got better over time. So. Yeah.
Awesome, thanks guys. So the next question is, Jordan just mentioned a PA. What is a PA?
That's a great question. I can take that one. So a PA stands for peer advisor, and so they're basically there are two parts to the position. They're your peers and your advisors. So first of all, when you come to campus, they'll lead you through the Wildcat Welcome process and the whole program. That's the 7 days that we have this year, and as well as throughout the first year, they're there as your resource and support, as well as to connect you to resources at Northwestern, and they're also your peers. So whenever you want to hang out and talk about things. So definitely a connection that I appreciated when I first came as a new student. So definitely utilize it. Yeah.
Thanks, Ben. Our next question is, how is the winter? How did you prepare? Is it as bad as they say?
So I'm from New Mexico, which is definitely warmer weather, so this was a shift. One thing that was really helpful, I actually waited to buy my coat until I got to campus because I think that you can go around to a lot of discount stores and find a coat made for that weather really cheap. And I mean, yeah, it's definitely an adjustment to go from warm weather to like below freezing, but I promise you, you can do it. Everybody around you is going to have a lot of tips, things like ducking through the building during the winter. The heating at Northwestern is amazing, so once you get to a building, I assure you, you'll be fine. Yeah, like it's not quite as easy for everybody, but you will be able to do it, I promise.
Yeah, also to add on to that, layering will definitely become one of your best friends. And also during the winter, when it gets really, really cold, the university actually adds extra shuttles going around campus. So that's another option for someone who doesn't want to walk from one end to another. They could take a shuttle, which is probably like a couple minutes long maybe. So that's another good option.
Thanks, yeah. And I would just reiterate that you definitely shouldn't feel like you have to buy a really expensive coat to survive winter in Chicago. You can basically, if you have even just a really good windbreaker, it's really all about the layers. I'm from Alabama as well, and the rain jacket that I had there works perfectly fine here with a couple extra layers underneath. So cost doesn't equate to warmth. So don't drop hundreds of dollars on a jacket. No way. Great. Our next question is about student organizations. When do I join student organizations? Anyone want to talk about it?
Sure, I got this one. So you can begin joining student organizations after Wildcat Welcome. So there's an activities fair during the first week of classes, but it's like totally different from high school. You're generally, when you're getting involved with things, it's more about the depth of like your involvement than the number of things that you're involved in. And also in terms of like timing, you can join student organizations whenever. Like as a junior this last year, I was involved with nothing I was involved with my freshman year. So I joined a couple of clubs my junior year. So it's like totally open, not something to stress about for sure. But once the school year starts, that's when we start looking.
Thanks, Cody. All right, our last question, and we're going to hear from all of our peer advisors for this one, is what should new students be looking forward to as they think about Wildcat Welcome?
Yeah, so I think I can jump in first on this one. The first thing I want to say is that especially when you get your schedule for it, it's going to seem a little overwhelming, like that we have a lot of activities planned for you. But I think if you go into it just with an open mind, just excited to be there, that's going to make it a much more positive experience for you. So know that we're doing everything for a reason, and we really are dedicated to making those 8 days as much fun as they can possibly be. So just get excited.
I can go as well. So something else I think is really great about Wildcat Welcome is that you get like this huge rush of purple pride, and you learn the fight song and like all these campus traditions. So that's something that I think you should get really excited for, and something that I love about Wildcat Welcome.
I can jump in. Something to add on. So once you get onto campus and you start Wildcat Welcome, you'll be put in groups. They're called PA groups or peer advisor groups. And so those students are usually in the same school or have a similar major. It really depends, but a lot of times there's some kind of similar academic interest there. And I was really fortunate to meet like my roommate this year and one of my best friends through my PA group. And it's not like everyone in your PA group will become your best friend, but it's a really, really great opportunity to make really great relationships with other people even before you start classes. So I would really, if I were you guys, I'd really be looking forward to that.
I can go. I would say one thing to look forward to the most is just meeting so many different people from different backgrounds. It just gives you a whole new perspective on life, really. And you also get to kind of talk about a lot of important topics that will probably impact your Northwestern experience. So that's it.
To also add on to that, new students come in with all different types of experiences in the past. For myself, I came from high school and I looked at my parents, and just this independence element was huge for me. And only coming into Wildcat Welcome and starting to really form my own schedule and kind of find my own self, and then especially when school kicked off, just like really being independent, making your own decisions, and really living for yourself, was just very exciting to me. And I can say that I'm glad that that transition came through. That's something you guys should definitely be looking forward to, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, to kind of, I guess, summarize everyone's too. Get ready to open, I guess, go into the next chapter of life, and that sounds like a lot of pressure, but I think one of the best advices that I got is to take day by day as a new opportunity. So just keep your mind open, get excited. There are definitely going to be challenging times, but surround yourself with a support system and people that you can trust and build a relationship with, and yeah, get ready for possibly a very transformation period of life. So, yeah.
Thank you all so much. Yeah, I would say the only thing I would add is that the excitement that you're feeling now, I know that it's kind of a while because we're on the quarter system until you get on campus, but the excitement that you're feeling now, we've got it probably as much, maybe even more. We're so excited to welcome you all to this beautiful campus. I know that I'm going to be here in Evanston for the summer just waiting for you all to arrive. So I can't wait, and I know the other peer advisors are just as excited. And we're really glad that y'all could hang out with us today. If you missed the Wildcat Welcome Hangout, which you probably didn't if you're watching, but if there's something that you don't quite remember, or if you want to show your friends, because you should, or your family, there will be a link posted on our website, and it'll be on our YouTube page as well. And you can always watch it probably as many times as you want. Follow us on Facebook. Join the Class of 2020 and Transfers Facebook pages if you haven't already, and you're on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line, either at our email or at any of the other places I already mentioned. We can't wait to hear from you, and we can't wait to see you. The next Hangout is going to be coming up, I believe, in a month, so stay tuned for that, as well as all of our other fun Wildcat Wednesday material. And you'll be hearing from your PAs, your peer advisors. It could be one of these cool people already in mid-July, so keep an ear out for that as well. But thanks again for hanging out with us, and go Cats! Bye, everyone!